Hare Krishna, a very warm welcome to all the devotees to our program Srimad Bhagavatam study. So today we are going to discuss a quiz which is based on chapter number 1 to 5 of canto number 2. And overall this is our 66th class. This quiz was issued a couple of weeks ago. I think the devotees got sufficient time to write the answers. And I noticed many of you have written the answers also. Some answers have been written very nicely. But somehow, in case there are any gaps, maybe we will discuss the questions in this class. So, in case there are any gaps, or probably if you think uh, you can add a little more to whatever answers I have prepared to the questions, maybe you can also share with me and help me understand a little more deeper. So, we will start with the Mangalacharan prayers. Maybe Anuradha Mataji, would you like to recite the prayers?
Yes, Prabhu, I'll do.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Very nice, Mataji. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Ram.
Excellent recitation, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so now we start our program on the quiz on short answer type questions. So we are going to discuss some 6 questions which were to be replied. The format in which they were supposed to be replied was give a short answer, maybe a few bullet points if you can give it. So that would be the best way. So let us start the discussion. So the first question was about what are the qualities of Griha Medhi? This was the first chapter and maybe second, third, fourth verse of the first chapter. So maybe devotees would like to share what points they have kind of picked up from these verses 2, 3rd and 4th. If anyone would like to volunteer to answer.
Yes, Prabhu, I can do.
Prabhuji, I can try that, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay. Jivan Prabhu, please start. Yeah.
Actually, Griha Medinas, am I audible? Okay,
yes, yes.
Okay. Griha Medinas are all the people who work only for the benefit of their family members and either extended or centralized, and they are investors of the other Griha Medinas. And they have many subject matters for having they have political subject matter, scientific, also social, economic, and all that. But due to poor fund of knowledge, they set aside the question of the miseries of life, that is birth, death, old age, and also disease. They get illusion by material nature, forgetting everything about the self-realization that is mentioned as a Atma Tattvam Apashyatam. It is they forget about the point of self-realization, and they have thousands of matters to chant here, and all mundane matters. Chant here and remember, and they waste their time by passing the night in sex or sleep, and his day in money making or maintaining family. And he develops great faith in the fallible soldiers, like namely body, children, and wife. And also they do not see the inevitable destruction approaching despite of having the experience. Tesham nidanam pachanapi na pachyate. These are all the thing, and these are all the points which I have. Yeah.
Very nice, bro. Very nicely you studied. Very nicely all the points given by Prabhupada ji in the purport. I think Manish ji was also willing to answer it. So Manish ji, your turn, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. So I think most of the points Divanratha Prabhu has covered, but I think as said, they are mostly involved in all the benefits of family members, and they are envious of others. They are fully materially engrossed. Means they only think everything in the material part, nothing in spiritual. Very blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth. They completely forget that there is a supreme Lord who is existing, who is the creator of universe, and they are not interested at all in that. So they are being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth. So they typically are interested in the subject matters from hearing in the human society, yeah, rather than hearing anything in spiritual. And this lifetime of such envious householder is sleeping or is in sex indulgence or only making in daytime. So they are working hard work only for money, but yeah, completely materialistic. Yes, Prabhu.
So Manish ji, have you seen these kind of people in your life?
Yes,
Have you
Prabhu. Many of them.
experienced many of them, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah,
And when
आपने
you
last you heard, you had told long back, ये दिल मांगे more, correct? They are just want more and more. Yeah, that's
so you might find these kind of people very close to you also. I mean, I'm talking not only of Manish ji. I mean, even within my life also, I sometimes find them, these kind of people, very close to my own life. Maybe within my own family, within my wife's family, and maybe within our office culture, office colleagues, and so on. So the symptoms that you read in the purport by Srila Prabhupada, you can easily identify these kind of personalities. Probably we were also probably we were also maybe we were also probably once upon a time were falling in this category. So do you agree with me? Anyone agree with me?
yes,
That we
Prabhu.
were also probably in this category once upon a time.
Correct. Very true. This is very true. And I think after all these things, we are trying to come out of this.
Yeah.
To be very frank and honest.
Yeah. So some symptoms might still be there within us, but in general, what we understand is at least we recognize that we are kind of diseased and we need to come out of this. But let me also share some of the points that I have put it here, maybe one by one. So these people live only for the benefit of own family. Generally, they are either their own family, maybe their own wife, children, or husband, etc. Or so extended or centralized. Extended would mean maybe sometimes they might work for their society. Maybe they might work maybe for their nation. That is all. Maybe that may be the case. So live only for the benefit of their own family. Then they are forgetful of self-realization. They either don't have any idea, or they kind of think that any knowledge regarding self realization is a waste of time. ये धर्म की बातें जो है, it is simply a waste of time, because they are simply absorbed in materialistic family life. Materialistic family life means, if my family is happy, if my children are happy, going to good school, wife eating nicely, wearing nice clothes, we are having the latest car, the latest brand of TV, then it is all we are successful. We are actually successful people in our life. They probably don't realize that actually the definition of success uh, may not be that, because at the end of life, where death, everything will be taken away. And then they may see married life as a means to fulfill their sex desires. So sometimes people marry only for what? To have this pleasure of sex. That is only they think. But in the grahast ashram, opposite of graha medhi is grahast ashram. So the word ashram means where spiritual life is practiced. So a devotee would like to make his household life as an ashram, and not simply means to enjoy each other. Then their definition of success is more likely to revolve around earning more and more money and improve their standard of living. As I mentioned, the latest brand of TV, car, house, and then clothes, and then having more and more bank balance and like to flaunt that bank balance. That is the definition of success. So their discussion is also revolving around these topics only. And they kind of live with this mentality that they are going to live forever, and if in difficulty, their friends and family will be able to help them. So they don't think that they are going to die. That is their mentality. And they try to connect with other people in the society who are more powerful, who are more resourceful, so that they may exploit these relationships in future, so that they will be benefited in future, like that. So this is the qualities of a Grahamedi. So I hope we can recognize our own life with these qualities, or maybe the life of other people with these qualities. Okay, now we go to the second one. Explain based 2.1.56, two verses, based on the purports of Srila Prabhupada. So, fifth and sixth verse is something like this: Tasmat Bharat Sarvatma Bhagwan Ishvaro Hari Shrotavyah Kirtitavyascha Smartavyaschichata Bhayam Smartavyaschichata Bhayam Etavan Sankhya Yogabhyam Swadharma Parinishthaya Janmalabha Param Pumsa Ante Narayana Smritihi. So these are the two verses, and the question is about read Prabhupada's purport, and in your own words, kindly explain the main points of Prabhupada's purport. So once again, if devotees would like to volunteer to share their points, that will be best.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Ishwar Prabhuji, please.
Starting from verse 5, I begin like this. Stop being a Grahamedi or a Karmi, as this would entail the break-in of the chain reaction of karma, that is repeated birth and death, the law of routine action. Be knowledgeable in Atma Tattva, do things and execute everything on behalf of the Supreme Lord, the ultimate the proprietor of everything, as is recommended in Bhagavad Gita 9:27. To begin with, get to hear about the Lord attentively, perfectly, and scrutinizingly, followed by glorifying his acts, deeds, and remember constantly the transcendental nature of the Lord. This will ensure a constant association with the Lord, who is already residing in our hearts as Supersoul. The Lord is always keen and invites the association of all of us in his creation. This is universal and applicable to all beings for getting transcendental success in everything without fear or failures. With this, all human activities get transformed into spiritual activities, and that vanquishes all material miseries. Moving to verse 6, the highest perfection of human life achieved either by complete knowledge of matter and spirit, or by practicing of mystic powers, or by perfect discharge of occupational duties, to remove is to remember the personality of Godhead. That is the most important thing we must remember. Narayana, the transcendental personality of God, is beyond material creation. Anyone who wishes highest perfection must reach the stage of Narayana Smriti, or constantly remembering the Lord only. The same is not possible by speculating the empiric philosophy or cultivating mystic powers. Also important here is associating with pure devotees. That is, one should be a spiritual mentor. We are able to guide and give finishing touches to all transcendental activities, be it jnana, yoga, or karma. All said and done, we must mold our lives in such a way that we are able to progressively remember the Godhead in every step of life.
Very nice. Okay. So I can see Ishwar Prabhu has very detailed and deep study of Srila Prabhupada's purports. And I think more or less all the points Prabhuji has covered. Anyone also would
Prabhuji, I want to add some points here. If
Yes,
I'm actually here, there are three types of transcendentalists are being referred. One is this one, the Sarvatma. Actually, the Lord, this one, the verse says, this one, Tasmat Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvara. There are three things. One is about the Jnanis who are actually, they do the Jnanis worship the Sarvatma, the yogis, they do they work for the in-person liberation, and they do that this thing. And then the Bhagavan actually is so Bhagavan refers to that is by devotees who worship the Lord to their opulent form. And also Ishvara is referring to the karmic people, karmic type of people. And for them, they want material desires, the controller. Ishvara is being referred. Actually, in the Naimisharan, there are different types of sages who are present there. So to take care of them, all of the transcendent, some may be a yogi, some may be a jnani, and some may be a real devotee and all that. All these transcendents are present there. So this is the point which you mentioned in the class. I just wanted to add,
Yes.
And that is the thing,
Yeah. Very nice. Thank you very much. Very good. Okay. Anyone more? Any other explanation? Any other devotee would like to? Maybe again they can repeat. No problem.
And also one more point is that Prabhuji, actually in the same thing, in this one, 1.28, that is, Dharma Swanishtita Pumsan, Vishwaksena
Kathasu,
Kathasu,
yeah. Now Utpad Yedi Ratim.
Now Utpadi Yedi Ratim, Shame
Drama
Evi
Evahi Kevalam.
Kevalam. That particular verse also, I just wanted to, because one who does not, hear about the pastimes of the Lord, Vishaksena Kathaso, one who does not show interest, and if that is occupational duty of the Varnashrama people, that does not invoke the divorce service to the Lord, then it is of waste of labor. This is why one
Shrama Evahi Kevalam. Very nice. Yeah. So very nice. Very nicely explained. Okay, maybe so maybe I will also share the bullet points that I have prepared. Now, so Prabhupada starts the purport of verse number 5 by connecting it with the previous verses like verse number 2, 3, and 4, where he kind of explains, first of all, that the materialistic way of life is not going to help one to come out from the cycle of birth and death. So we discussed just now the difference between Grahastha Ashram and Graha Medhi. Grahastha versus Grahamedhi. So Grahamedhi is more inclined towards materialistic way of life. So Prabhupada is alarming us in the beginning of the purport that this life is not going to help us with coming out from the cycle of birth and death. We continue to become successful, have a lot of money, have a lot of car, have good wife, good husband, good children, but nothing at the end of the day is going to help us in coming out from the cycle of birth and death. Then he goes on to explain one need to start living a life centered around God. One need to start living a life centered around God if a person is interested in coming out from cycle of birth and death. So God consciousness need to be developed for this purpose. And he is in the verse, a specific name of the Lord is used, Lord Hari. Lord Hari. And in the end of verse number 5, it is mentioned, Smartavyas Ichchata Bhayam. Abhayam. Abhayam means if somebody is desirous of becoming fearless. Fearless. So the biggest fear in life is what? That we will die. Everything will be taken away from us. That is the biggest fear. So if somebody wants to become fearless in one's life, then he need to worship Lord Hari. And Lord Hari will take away that fear. So Hari means who wants take away all inauspiciousness. So that is why he is mentioned as Lord Hari. Then how we can develop God-centered life? So the formula is given. This requires developing God consciousness. And how we can develop God consciousness? By three things: Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Smaranam. But here, if you read Prabhupada's purport very carefully, the Prabhupada has given a specific sequence. First of all, we need to do Shravanam, scrutinizingly Shravanam, like Ishwar Prabhu also mentioned, scrutinizingly Shravanam. Shravanam simply does not mean that you play the tape recorder or you play the MP3 audio file and simply Shravan. That is also going to be beneficial, but scrutinizingly Shravanam. Why this? Why not this? How we can do this? Question a lot. Uh, meditate upon a lot. Contemplate a lot on the topics that you are hearing. Not simply passive Shravanam, active Shravanam. And then once you are able to do good Shravanam, then you also know how to speak about it. Whatever you hear, you have to speak. So if you do scrutinizingly Shravanam, you can speak about it very nicely. And when you are able to do these two activities, Shravanam and glorification, then Smaranam is bound to happen. Your life will transform. You will always remember the Lord. You will always remember the Lord. And why remember is given the most importance? Because that is the purpose of doing Shravanam and Kirtanam. The next verse, the 6th verse, what does it say? Ante Narayana Smriti. So you will not be able to remember the Narayan in your end life if you don't do these activities very nicely. So try to do these activities. For that, you don't need formally to organize a Zoom class. You can do it on your own also. Then in the next verse, what now Shukdev Goswami is saying is that this process is applicable to all kind of transcendentalists, Jnanis, yogis, karmis. So how do we know that? Sankhya Yoga Abhyam. So Sankhya Yoga, who does? Sankhya Yoga is done by the Jnanis. What does Sankhya Yoga mean? What do we do in Sankhya Yoga? Can anybody tell me from the devotees? What is the purpose? What is the subject matter of Sankhya? What is the subject matter of Sankhya? How do the Sankhya Yogi develop his spiritual, how does he develop himself spiritually, a Sankhya Yogi? What does Sankhya means?
Is it by analysis? That is by Sankhya.
Analysis of what?
Sankhya,
analysis of what?
Analysis of matter and spirit.
Analysis of matter and spirit.
So matter and spirit, correct. Analysis of matter and spirit.
Like in Bhagavad Gita, in the beginning, Lord Krishna explains Arjuna, you are not this body, you are a spirit soul. So initially you see in chapter number 2, that is all Sankhya Yoga. The Atma is like this. Atma is cannot never be dyed, cannot be cut, cannot be burnt, cannot be dried, cannot be wetted. All that. So that is a analytical study of difference between matter and spirit. Prabhupada always used to say, you are not this body, you are a spirit soul. That is Sankhya. So Jnanis are trying to do this analytical study always. And the yogis, what do the Dhyan yogis do? What is their primary methodology of spiritual advancement? What do they do?
Work towards impersonal liberation.
Work toward impersonal liberation, correct. But what is the methodology? What is the methodology? What is their focus?
They meditate on the Paramatma within the heart.
That is a little later. That comes little later. In the beginning.
They meant by the prevention.
In the beginning, what do they do? Yama, Niyama,
They work
Asana,
towards
Pranayam.
Pranayama, yes.
Isn't it, Mataji? But
Shat
again,
Sampati.
Sorry, Prabhu.
Shat Sampati. Yam, Niyam, Pranayam, Pratyahar.
Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar,
Pratyahar.
Dharana, Dhyan,
Samadhi.
Dhyan, and then what? Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. Correct. So the point is, actually, if simple terms, if you have to explain to somebody, what they try to do is they try to do mind control. Mana, controlling of mind, controlling of emotions, emotions that lead them towards material enjoyment, etc. So they control it by doing yama, niyama, asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharan, dhyana, samadhi, like that. So their focus is like Patanjali Yoga Sutra. One of the Patanjali Yoga Sutra is Yogascha Manah Chitti Yoga Yogascha Chitti Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yogascha Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Chitta Vritti. Chitta Vritti means the tendency of the mind. And Nirodha. Nirodha means they kind of suppress these emotions that emanate from the mind, or that emanate from within. That is the primary purpose. That is the primary methodology of yoga. And what do Bhakti Yogi do? What do Bhakti Yogi do? What is the contrast of the methodology of the Bhakti Yogi compared to a Dhyan Yogi? Anyone?
Surrender to God.
Sorry?
Surrender to God.
That is a very broad way of explaining it. I'm trying to get an answer which is a little more relatable to us. Surrender to God is a little bit elevated explanation to the question I'm asking.
Devotional service.
Devotional service. In contrast with the methodology followed by a Dhyan Yogi. Dhyan Yogi, I told you, they suppress the emotions. And what do the Bhakti Yogi do? Do they suppress the emotion?
No. Utilize the emotion links in the service of the Lord. They don't suppress it.
They don't suppress it. We don't suppress it. Because our philosophy is, or the philosophy that Lord Krishna explained to Arjuna is, see, you cannot suppress these emotions. It is very difficult. Nigraha kim karishyati. Nigraha kim karishyati. If somebody has a tendency to sing, if a tendency to write, if somebody has a tendency to speak very nicely, if somebody has a tendency to teach very nicely, if somebody has a tendency to fight with others, give protection to others. So we don't suppress our emotions. We actually channelize them in the service of the Lord. So this is a primary difference between the yogis and the bhakti yogis. The Dhyan Yogis and the Bhakti Yogis. We utilize our emotions, we channelize them because we understand that emotion is a very strong force within us. Suppressing actually can be counterintuitive. This is why the whole discussion in Bhagavad Gita is there. Arjuna is trying to run away because he became a little weak, momentarily became weak by seeing his relatives. But the Lord is trying to again bring him back. He says that you should engage in this warfare. You should engage in this warfare. Arjuna was trying to become something like a Dhyan Yogi. The Lord was saying that without proper purification, you cannot become a Dhyan Yogi. And for most of the people, the path followed is the path of maybe Karma Yoga, which is the initial stage of Bhakti Yoga only. And then ultimately, that need to be channelized to a bhakti yoga tendency. So that is very important. So as transcendentalists, as preachers, we need to be very, very clear between the differences between these three processes: jnanis, yogis, and karmis. Karmis actually is karm yogi, swanishtita, swadharma parinishtaya, swadharma. I am a kshatriya. I am a kshatriya, so I need to be following my kartavya of kshatriya. So ultimately, we need to understand that whatever may be our duty, ultimately it has to be dovetailed towards the Lord's service. Okay, sorry, we spend a lot of time here, but I think these concepts are very important for devotees to understand. The process is potent enough to relieve us from all kind of fear, including death. And the ultimate goal of life is one is to be able to remember the Lord at the end of life. So that is why Prabhupada is saying, right, nice hearing, scrutinizingly hear. Then we do good kirtan. Because if we don't hear properly, we cannot do good kirtan. We cannot explain it to others. And once we are able to do both these things, the result is smaranam. And then ante narayana smriti. So like this, all the points are there. Okay. So now the third question, write a brief note on the significance of Virat Roop. So welcome answers from the devotees. Virat Roop. Who would like to take lead?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I can
Yes,
try
Ishwar
again.
Prabhuji. Ishwar Prabhuji. Yes, please go ahead.
The human mind or the speculative philosophers fail to comprehend and adjust to the eternal two-handed form of Lord Krishna. They think, how can a normal-looking person be so potent and powerful to create and maintain, control and destroy the universe? So just to satisfy or express their, to impress the ordinary human mind, thinks of Virat Rupa or the gigantic universal form of the Lord, which is imaginary, although it is informal and thus fails to offer complete salvation to the devotees. Meditation on Virat Rupa, I am saying, it can at best be the best bet for the beginner. It sure fosters godly qualities in a devotee. It's a plus point. And it is important to remove the misconception about his constitutional position vis-a-vis the Creator. It also removes the forgetfulness of the Lord by the conditioned fool, as was done in the case of Brahmaji and briefly illusioned Arjuna also in the field of Kurukshetra. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord manifested this Virat Rupa just to convince Arjuna and other bewildered beings among humans. All in all, it was meant to be a lesson for the materialistic soul so that they can accept a person as genuine incarnation of the Lord, as was the case with Lord Krishna. The pseudo incarnators won't be able to have any Virat Rupa, and therefore they cannot be the real troublemaker in that process.
Very nice. Very nice. So I think you covered points probably beyond the purports also, but all very nicely done. I think you bring very good points from Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, why do the Lord shows his Virat Roop form? Mainly to demonstrate that in case in future somebody wants to pose himself as the Lord, then they need to show their Virat Roop like that. So I think very good points. So in the interest of time, maybe I'll start to explain the question or the answer, whatever points I have written.
Hare Krishna.
So yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Kartarpur. Yeah.
I have a permission, Guruji?
Yes. Please go ahead.
To my mind, whatever I receive from you and other gurus, so the Arjuna had a doubt because he used to think Lord Krishna as a cousin more than as a god. That was his confusion. He used to think that he's my cousin brother. So then when with all those his queries being answered by Lord Krishna, he was not convinced. So last thing Lord Krishna was left to show him Virat Roop so that he understands. And for that, he gave him the Dividrashi. And then he realized what he is. And then he accepted his omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, that he is all powerful, he is everywhere, and he can do everything. Thank you, Guruji.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. See, it was not that because he was not convinced, he asked for the Virat Roop form. Because if you read chapter number 10, so in chapter number 10, I think there is a prayer by Arjuna. Before he even asks for request for Virat Roop Darshan, he already says that I actually agree and accept you as my Lord. So if somebody can help me recite those verses, I have to refer to the Bhagavad Gita, but maybe I can later on quote you those verses. So he was convinced before he requested. He was convinced that he is the Supreme Lord. And then, as Ishwarji mentioned, that in order to demonstrate to rest of the people that personally he was convinced, but in order for others also to be convinced, maybe if there is some doubt in somebody else is there in mind, he requested that, okay, please kindly demonstrate me the Virat Roop form. That's the explanation generally the Acharya gives. Yeah.
Ji Guruji.
Okay. Now we come to the question number 3 here. Thank you, Prabhu. The conception of Virat Roop provides an opportunity to a materialist to meditate upon the Lord. So the Virat Roop form is mainly an imaginary form, and in spiritual life we are advised not to do things as per imagination, but this Virat Roop form is a bona fide imagination. Why? Because it helps somebody who is having a more of a materialistic bent of mind to elevate himself from a materialistic bent of mind to a little spiritual bent of mind. So it is mainly for an opportunity for a materialist to meditate upon the Lord. Such people have difficulty in accepting anything beyond material existence. So if you told them there is a spiritual world, the Lord form is spiritual in nature, Satchidanand, etc., etc., their mind is not that much developed, or their mind is kind of a little bit more, I would say, averse to accept these kind of arguments. So they need something. They need something which to them is more relatable. So the Virat Roop form is an imaginary material form, but it's a bona fide imagination which can help promote realization of the Lord, whose form is spiritual. Then the meditator of Virat Roop needs to develop service attitude to realize absolute truth. So ultimately, there need to be some development of service attitude, etc., while he's meditating on the Virat Roop form. And then ultimately from there, he can actually, it is a kind of a stepping stone towards realizing a little more advanced spiritual concepts like the Satchidanand form of the Lord, etc. So that is the answer. I hope these concepts are clear about Virat Roop. Virat Roop kind of continues to become a little difficult subject for most of us, but at least we can start from these kind of understanding, and then later on, maybe as we continue to discuss more about it, probably our understanding will become even more deeper and relatable. Okay, we come to the fourth one. What is the difference in the path of an attached and detached yogis? Draw the flow chart on paper for practice. So maybe I will assume that you have done that practice at your home, or maybe at least looked at the flow chart, revised it in your mind, and have developed the concept. But in general, let us hear from you. What are the differences in the paths of an attached and detached yogis? So who would like to volunteer to answer this?
I will try.
Okay, Manish, go ahead.
Yeah. So attached yogi, he has a desire for improved material enjoyments like transference to the topmost planet, Brahmaloka, or travel in outer space with the Vaishyas, etc. And the yogi may enjoy it, but it is not same enjoyment like karmis. And detached yogi, he is more transcendental. He is mostly concerned with the spiritual body, And by his strength, because he believes more in the devotional service, he does a lot of austerities. He does devotional service, mystic power, and he has a transcendental knowledge. And his movements are unrestricted within and beyond the material world. Yes,
Okay.
Prabhu, this is what I have written. Yeah.
So I think one difference Manishji has mentioned, important difference. An attached yogi is not yet fully purified. His desires may not be like that of karmis or graha medhis, good family, good wife, good house, good bank balance, etc. But his desires may be a little bit more elevated, but still on a materialistic level only. For example, Manishji mentioned about, like I have mentioned here, still has some material desire. For example, enjoy in Brahmalok. So a devotee or a attached yogi might think that let me curious enough to go to Brahmalok. Let me go to Brahmalok, see what the Brahmaji does, what these people do, etc. Travel in outer space. So he may have some siddhis to travel in outer space. Enjoy mystic powers. So in our Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu class, we have discussed many kind of siddhis, Laghima, Anima, Mahima, etc., etc. So these yogis, by dint of their yogic meditation and so on, may have these kind of siddhis, become smaller than the smallest, become larger than the largest, like that. There are different siddhis. So these are still material desires. Such a yogi is advised on the Virat route. So he is not yet ready to meditate upon the Paramatma form, but meditate on the Virat route. He then travels to higher planets in his subtle body and finally achieve liberation. And this process of liberation by gradual moving from higher planets to maybe still more higher realm, then still further higher realm, ultimately they achieve liberation in a very gradual fashion. And that gradual process of liberation is known as krama mukti. Krama means gradual, one by one step, then next step, then next step, then next step. This is all krama mukti, kram, agal, different steps. So this is attached yogi. Okay. Now we go to the detached yogi. So what is the process of detached yogi? A detached yogi has cleansed himself of material desire. He has no curiosity about going to Brahmaloka or going to outer space, mystic power, no. And meditates upon the Paramatma within the heart. So he meditates upon the Paramatma within the heart. So if you remember in these chapters, there's also a description about what does the Paramatma look like within the heart. There's a full description there. He meditates on the each limb, starting from the lotus feet, then the lotus thighs, then the uh, uh, lotus waist, maybe going to the chest portion, and then going to the lotus face, and then meditating upon the whole body, each limb, one after the another. He then raises his life air. Life air means pranavayu. So pranavayu is mainly at the level, at the bottom level, it is known as Muladhar Chakra, which is somewhere near the anus region in the body. To Agya Chakra. Agya Chakra is somebody somewhere in the between the eyebrows, above the nose, between the eyebrows. Agya Chakra. So he raises by dint of his yogic power, which he has acquired by doing yama, niyama, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, and then like that, dhyan, and then ultimately he raises his Muladhar Chakra, life air from Muladhar Chakra to the Agya Chakra. It is a mechanical process. It is a mechanical process. He raises it. And then he pierces the Brahmarandhra. So Brahmarandhra is somewhere at the top, at the in the region of the skull, and then attains liberation. That is called liberation. So he leaves this body from here and then goes to the impersonally liberated. Now here is the chart. Here is the chart. So the first 5 stages of both attached yogi and detached yogi are same. Yama, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar. But after pratyahar, when he goes to dharana, then the path changes. For the neophyte yogi, if he has desires, then he needs to follow the process of krama mukti. And then if he does not have any desires, then he is following the same process as the advanced yogi. But For the advanced yogi, he directly goes to dhyan. Dhyan means meditating upon the limbs of the Paramatma in the heart. And then the meditation becomes even deeper, even more intense. Then he goes to samadhi. In samadhi, he has this Brahman realization, and using the process of Shat Chakra Yoga. So Shat Chakra Yoga means raising the life air, pranavayu from Muladhara Chakra to the Agya Chakra, and then liberation. For neophyte, the liberation comes like this. He will go to Vaishvanar Loka, Shishumar Loka, Mahar Loka, Brahma Loka, then changes from earth, water, fiery, airy, and ethery. If you remember, we have already discussed this in the 5th chapter. So first of all, ether comes, then air comes, then fire comes, then water comes, then earth comes. So ultimately, this process becomes reversed. He is going to take liberation, so the process becomes reversed. So Brahma Loka, and then like this, then he goes, then he pierces the false ego. False ego means ahankar. So there's a layer of ahankar. Then ahankar comes from where? Ahankar comes from Mahat Tattva. So he pierces the layer of Mahat Tattva. Then ultimately he pierces the layer of Pradhan. And then ultimately goes toward liberation. That is the process of liberation for the neophyte. This is the process of liberation of the advanced yogi. Like this, you have differences between the two paths. I hope this is clear. Any devotee who is not yet clear of this, kindly help. Kindly let me know. Is it clear?
It is clear, Prabhuji. I'm sorry, but I have one question regarding this. Can I ask? So my question is that attached yogi, will he suffer the pangs of suffering because he's got desires, or he is above sufferings and all those things?
Yeah, suffering means he's still subject to life and death. He's subject to what you will call like Janm, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. He's also bound to it. But because since he's a yogi, the nature of suffering he actually experiences may not be as severe as the normal materialistic person. Because all these lokas, Vaishvanar Lok, Shishumar Lok, Mahar Lok, Brahma Lok, they're all material. They're all material in the realm of material world.
Okay, so attached yogi is still in the modes of nature.
Yeah, still having some effect of modes of nature, because having these he's having desires, but his desires are of very different nature, different caliber and different nature. He's more like curious. He's more like curious to explore the other realms. So that is the kind of desire he has. He's still not interested in materialistic life, because yama, niyama, asana, pranayam, and at the level of dharana, because he has this curiosity, oh, I would like to look at Brahmaloka, and then maybe how does people live there, or maybe whatever. I don't know how does it look like. I'm simply trying to explain you based on the explanations I am learning. But the conception is he's more like a tourist.
It is helping. Yeah.
He's more like a tourist.
No, what I understood is from this point after Brahmaloka, the way you explained that he transcends this earth, air, and all those things. So all this comes in like modes of nature. Am I right? Like,
Yeah. So he's gradually piercing those modes of nature.
Transcending. Okay.
He's gradually piercing this. So he changes from earth to go to watery realm, then fiery realm, then airy realm, then ethery realm. All ultimately this comes from where? From false ego, ahankar, ahankar in the mode of ignorance, tamasic ahankar. So from tamasic ahankar comes from where? Tamasic ahankar actually comes from the Mahat Tattva and the Mahat Tattva in Rajas and Mahat Tattva in Sattva. So then he pierces Mahat Tattva, then ultimately pierces Pradhan, and finally gets liberated. Here, after once he pierces Pradhan, then he is coming out from this material realm and going to the spiritual realm fully. That's where he is liberated. अभी मुक्ति मिला उसको. लेकिन ये जो क्रम मुक्ति है, this is all materialistic material world. But he doesn't want to go directly from Delhi to Bombay. See, he doesn't directly want to go from Delhi to Bombay. From Delhi, he will go to maybe some another city. Then from that city, he will go to maybe Ratlam. From Ratlam to Indore. from Indore to something else, and then maybe ultimately reaches Bombay like that. वो घूम फिर के जाएगा थोड़ा.
मैं एक और डाउट बस मेरा है, प्लीज एक्सक्यूज मी फॉर दैट. मेरा मतलब ये है कि ये जितने भी लोकास हैं पॉज बीफो को पियर्स करने से पहले, सो ऑल दिस कम्स इन शुद्ध सत्व.
Shuddha Sattva is transcendental. Because if he's in Shuddha Sattva means beyond Sattva, Rajas and Tamas.
That's right. Okay.
Shuddha Sattva means Krishna Bhavana.
Okay. Okay.
Ultimately, Shuddha Sattva means Krishna Bhavana. Or even if not Krishna Bhavana, but at least no material tinge of any because modes means Sattva, Rajas and Tamas still means material modes. They are still material. Prakriti hi esha gunmayi mama maya duratyaya. Gunmayi. So it is all gunas. Prakriti means gunas. Material nature means gunas. So pradhan is a combination of gunas. Pradhan. But in equilibrium. When the Lord glances at pradhan with kala, he infuses it with kala and karma and swabhava of the jivas, then it becomes agitated. Then it becomes Mahat Tattva. And the Mahat Tattva transforms from Sattvic Mahat Tattva to Rajasic, and then from Rajasic to ultimately to Tamasic Ahankar. Like that.
Yes.
Okay. So this is all material nature. This is all Prakriti.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Prabhuji, one thing I wish to understand, there is a stage of Santam and Anandam. How does a stage of Santam and Anandam?
What? Anandam से पहले आपने क्या बोला है?
Santam. S-A-N-T-A-M.
What is the spelling?
S-A-N-T-A-M. Santam.
Okay, from I don't know. Santam means what?
Purport में से मैंने note किया था. So it is a separate stage for entry into direct kingdom of the Lord.
Can you refer me? Can you tell me where exactly in the purport have you read this?
मुझे वो book में देखनी पड़ेगी, मैं photo करके भेज.
Please tell me. Let me know. Maybe let me read it, and then maybe I will be able to explain.
Okay.
So Santam and Anandam.
हाँ जी.
Is it Shantam or
Anandam? Maybe Shantam. Yes, maybe. Yes.
Shantam.
Maybe Sachidananda.
I'm not sure. Maybe generally, I mean, once we are able to look at the purport, then maybe I may be able to explain you better. See, the idea is we call when we discuss about liberation. So liberation is actually neutral. So, for example, if you have y-axis, so maybe let me take help of the coordinate geometry. I hope Prabhu you can understand y-axis. Ishwar Prabhuji? Y-axis and x-axis like we study in mathematics, so you are able to understand y-axis?
Okay, I'll try.
Okay, so there is a x-axis and the x and y-axis meets at the origin. This is called 0. So above is positive and below 0 is negative. So below 0 is negative means material world, where there is janma mrityu jara vyadhi, where there is miseries. So dukkham. Free from miseries, freedom from miseries is something which is called as 0, which is called as liberation. Which is called liberation. So this is Shantam. Shantam, or maybe something like relief from material existence. So the person feels relieved. So there is joy there, but kind of relief, neutral. But when you go to devotional service and go to the spiritual world, that is actually called Anandam. Means real joy. So real joy is in relationships. Real joy is serving the Lord. enjoying the relationships, and that is how, maybe in that nature, that explanation might be there, but I'm just making a guess. But once you show me the purport, we can probably discuss further. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we go to the next one. I think we are taking a little more time, so, but I hope that is helping everyone. Glories of Bhakti Yoga. Explain the glory of Bhakti Yoga based on 2, 33, 37. Okay. Any volunteers? 2, 33 and 37. Very good verses. Personally, I really enjoyed reading these verses again, 33 to 37.
Prabhuji, I can read what I have written.
Yeah, please.
For those wandering in the material universe, there is no more auspiciousness means of deliverance than what is aimed at the direct devotional service of the Lord. The other indirect methods of available are difficult. They are long and arduous and also not independent. Bhakti Yoga, on the other hand, is very easy, simple, natural, direct, and free from other encumbrances. It is also the highest form of religion and also the source of happiness for the human beings. Same has been confirmed by Lord Brahmaji, who studied Vedas 3 times and examined and scrutinized it. It is also affirmed in the last instruction of Bhagavad Gita directly by the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. The only requirement is use of available intelligence, because through getting to know Vedic knowledge from scriptures and principally obtain the grace and mercy of the Lord through direct devotional service. And it should be sustained, it should be a sustained devotional service. It is best learned and performed in the company of devotees and a spiritual master. Hearing, chanting, preaching, etc. are easy and very effective tools of direct Bhakti Yoga.
Very nice, very good. Really enjoyed. So I also try to explain it here, very similar to what Prabhuji is mentioning. I'll also try to give you a little different focus, or maybe a little more stressing few other points. Say verse 33 clearly says, no other path is more auspicious. Nahi yato anya shivaha pantha. Pantha means path. Shiva means auspicious. Anya means any other path. Then bhakti of Lord Krishna. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yogo Yato Bhave. So the point is, if somebody asks you, because most of the time when we go out for preaching, and since we come to a society like ISKCON or Gaudiya Vaishnavism, people might say that since you follow bhakti, you call it best. So can you give me some reference? So this verse is specifically giving very explicitly, there is no difficulty. First of all, Vasudeva Bhagavati, who is our object of worship? It is Vasudeva. And Bhakti Yogo Yato Bhavet. And the path followed is Bhakti Yoga. So the second line is very, very clear. The object of worship is given and the path of worship is also given. Bhakti Yoga and Vasudeva. Then the first line very clearly says no other. The only path which is most auspicious is this one. Vasudeva Bhakti Yoga Yato Bhavet. Absolutely clear, no doubt, no confusion, no scope or room for interpretation, speculation. So that is one point. Then the second point is, go to verse number next. In the verse number next, which is verse 34, Shukdev Goswami is giving an example of an authority, Lord Brahma. So who is the first created being? Lord Brahma. So the Lord Brahma himself is confirming, and it is not an ordinary confirmation. Lord Brahma went through the Vedic literature 3 times, and not simply a reading like a novel reading. He read it Vedas scrutinizingly. So the word used in the verse is Manishaya and Anvikshaya. Anvikshaya means a very detailed study, scrutinizing study. Scrutinizing study means you make sense of every word you are reading, not simply reading like a storybook. Reading like a book of physics or chemistry, the concepts are being discussed, being explained. So everything we make it very clear. Manisha means intelligently. So very scrutinizingly, and not one time, 3 times. After he read 3 times, he understood the conclusion is Bhakti Yoga. Then the next point is very interesting. The next verse says, to perceive the Lord's presence with the jiva, this requires seeing things with intelligence. Now, for ordinary people like us, we are not like Brahmaji who can meditate upon the Lord directly. We are like jivas who are not very purified, still full of lust, anger, greed. The Lord is not visible to our eyes. Like we can see things around us, we cannot see the Lord like that. So the explanation given in this verse is we need to understand it using our intelligence. For example, in chemistry, we are taught about atoms, nucleus, protons, electrons, etc. Have we seen electrons? Have we seen protons? Have we seen nucleus? No. These are very subatomic particles. We cannot see them. But how do we understand them? We understand them through our intelligence. This is works like this behaves like this. Oh yes, it makes sense. Similarly, we work our spiritual life through our intelligence. Like Prabhupada explains, this is my finger. So who is this mine? My means the soul and finger is the body. So I am different from the finger. So when I say my body means this body belongs to me, but I am not this body. Like this, with intelligence, we need to understand the subject matter. And then how do we understand this? We understand it by the process of sadhan bhakti. Sadhan bhakti means what? We understand, we accept the scriptural teachings as to be the truth. And following those scriptural teachings, following in the footpath, yat anuvrittaya, like the verse that we discussed in our shloka memorization class. Then what we can have kritino babhu vima. We have this benefit. Our welfare will be happening. We will achieve all kind of success, including spiritual success. And then the process of sadhan bhakti, the benefit is it purifies our heart and help attains the lotus feet of the Lord. So this is the glorification of bhakti. First of all, the path, the supermost path is given. Authorities example is given. Brahmaji is the authority. Then how do we do it? How do we do it? With our intelligence. And when we do this with intelligence, the process is sadhan bhakti, hearing, chanting, remembering. And when we do it, we become purified and we achieve the lotus feet of the Lord. So a very nice, succinct, in 4 or 5 verses, the glory of Bhakti Yoga is present in these verses. Okay, we go to the next one. How did Brahmaji clarify the doubts of Narad and establish the Supreme Lord's position? Any answers, volunteers?
Prabhu, I will try.
Yes, Maniji, please go ahead.
Yes. So whatever I have written, I am just reading. So one is sure that he will get illusioned by observing my powerful activities, unless one is aware there is personality of Godhead who is the ultimate truth beyond me. Then he says, I create after the Lord creation by his personal effulgence. So that is Brahma Jyoti. Similar like sun manifests its fire, the moon, planets, and stars. Yeah. I serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda, the primeval Lord, whose transcendental bodily effulgence known as Brahma Jyoti is unlimited, unfathomed, and all pervasive. And the cause of all causes, the cause of the creation, unlimited number of planets and variety of climates and specific conditions of life. So Brahmaji also offers obeisances and meditate upon Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead whose invincible potency influences them to call the supreme controller.
Right. Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji. Very nice. So I think these points we discuss in our classes elaborately. So when Naradji kind of asked these kind of questions to Brahmaji, are you the creator? But my dear Lord, I have seen you once upon a time. you were meditating on someone. So that gives me a little doubt. So Brahmaji, when he hears this, so first of all, he becomes very, very overjoyed, thrilled. Why? Because the question gives Brahmaji an opportunity to speak about the Lord, to meditate about the Lord. Normally, in our position in material world, if somebody says that I think your success is dependent upon your boss's guidance, so we kind of sometimes become offended. Why is not considering my success as only my success? Why is bringing my boss into the picture? I did it. My boss is only simply sitting on his table, coming to the office, going back. That's all what he does. Actually, I did it. But no, here Brahmaji is acknowledging, actually he's become very happy, understanding that that will give him the opportunity to speak about the Lord. Then he gives the next point. He then explains Narad Muni that Lord actually is beyond him. And since people are not aware about the Lord's position, they mistakenly take Brahma as the creator. And then Brahma accepts that he only creates what is already been created. Rochitam, rochamyaham. Rochitam means created. Rochamyaham means, so whatever has been created, I use it to recreate. Rocham aham. Aham means Brahmaji is telling for himself. And then he gives the analogy of sun and stars. The sun puts light on the stars or the moon, then only the moon is visible to us and the moon gives his moonlight. So he's calling himself as a moon. I create, I only deflect the light what the sun gives to me, what the Lord gives to me, I only maybe recreate, reassemble, etc., etc. Like that. So that is how Brahmaji is saying. And then ultimately he mentioned that why people are bewildered about this, because of the Maya Shakti of the Lord. They are not able to perceive the Lord as the supreme creator. They kind of remain confused whether it is Brahmaji or whether it is some other theory or that, and like that. So like that, Brahmaji kind of approaches the answer that he gives to the Narad's doubt or question. Okay. Now we come to the multiple choice question. And how much time do we have? We have 22 minutes and we have 20 questions to cover. So we will do very quickly. These are easy ones. So anyone can help me read the questions, because that will save a little bit of my.
I will do. Okay.
Okay, Vandanaji and Manishji are there. So 10 to Vandanaji and 10 to Manishji. So ladies first, we give to Vandanaji. Okay, Mataji.
Khatwang Maharaj. Khatwang Maharaj had just one dash left, and he freed himself in that moment by taking Lord's shelter.
Okay. First option, hour. Second,
Shana.
minute. And C is Muhurta. And D is Pahar.
Muhurta.
So what is the correct answer? Muhurta. Muhurta is approximately 48 minutes. So anyone remember why did we discuss this topic?
Prabhuji, the answer given in the purport is just one moment. Is moment same as Muhurta?
Actually, let me go back to the verse 1 to 113. Actually, one moment, Prabhupada, that is the purport's explanation. Yeah. But in the verse, 13th verse, it is Muhurtat Sarva Mutsrajya. Muhurtat Sarva Mutsrajya. So Muhurt actually is 48 minutes. So let me also take you to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary. So Prabhupada ji sometimes would 2:1:13. Your point is right. Somebody can become God conscious even in 1 second also. So there is no detailed description given, but typically Muhurt actually means 48 minutes.
Yeah.
Because if you go back to the story of King Khatwang Maharaj, so he helped the demigods achieving their objective. Then the demigods asked him to give one boon. The Khatwang Maharaj was not interested, but they insisted. So he asked that, please, can you tell me when I will be able to perfect my life, or when my death will come? Something like that story is there. Then they say that maybe very shortly after this you are going to pass away. So he had a very small period of time, which is something like a muhurta, and then in that he only kind of successed his life. But anyway, we can debate upon muhurta 1 second or 48 minutes. But ultimately, what is the main message?
Main
What is the
message
main
is
message?
that one can perfect his life by surrendering to the Lord.
Yeah. See, the point is, we discussed quality of life is most important than compared to the quantity of life.
Yes, yes.
That was the main theme we discussed. If we live Krishna conscious life, even for maybe 2 years, that is worth compared to living life for maybe 80 years. That is much more better than compared to life living for maybe 200 years or 2000 years. Only 2 years or maybe 2 hours or maybe 2 seconds, like that. That was the main objective. So Parikshit Maharaj was kind of lucky, fortunate, because he had 7 days. So first of all, Shukdev Goswami gives him respite. My dear sir, you have 7 days. Khatwang Maharaj only had one muhurta, 48 minutes or maybe 1 second. So he perfected his life in one muhurta, and you had 7 days, so don't worry, you have some time now. So let us come back, do the real business, do the Shravan and Kirtan. Okay, second question, Mataji.
Sukhadev Goswami starts explaining about the process of Ashtanga Yoga because Parikshit asked a question about Ashtanga Yoga. Some sages in that assembly thought that Ashtanga Yoga should be the duty of a dying man. It is the best process to be performed at the time of death. It was best process of Parikshit's situation. I remember that you had told us that there were certain sages in the assembly who believed that Ashtanga Yoga is one of the way to reach the ultimate goal.
Correct. So that is why when Parikshit Maharaj was looking for an authority to answer his questions, the many sages came, and they were of different nature, different opinion. When they heard about this question, there was a discussion among the assembly, and then comes Shukdev Goswami, and everyone accepts him the authority. He takes the seat and he starts to speak. So first of all, he starts to speak about Bhakti Yoga, we just discussed, 33 to 37. And then he elaborates, because he understood that there will be many people who would have different opinion than what he should do, what Parikshit should do. So then he starts to address every one by one. So you will see that there is a discussion about Ashtanga Yoga, there is a discussion about Karma Kanda, there is a discussion about demigod worship, like that. Okay. So the correct answer, Vrindavaneshwari Mataji, is
D. Some sages in that assembly thought that Ashtanga Yoga should be the duty of dying man.
So other devotees also, they can kind of chip in case they have confusion. So please, you can intervene. Okay, Mataji, we'll go to the next one. Yes.
Which type of spiritual path? Yeah. Which type of spiritual path is recommended for all classes of men? Bhakti Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Karma Kanda, demigod worship. Obviously, Bhakti Yoga.
Bhakti Yoga, right? So that is the answer that Shukdev Goswami gives him. Actually, it is Bhakti Yoga, which is recommended for all classes of men. And we are now in chapter number 3 of Srimad Bhagavatam, where ultimately Shukdev Goswami, after discussing all the paths, Ashtanga Yoga, neophyte yogi, advanced yogi, and then maybe Karma Kandis, and maybe Jnani yogis, Dhyani yogis, etc. Describing everything, ultimately he gives his opinion. Bhakti yoga is recommended for all classes of men. So the correct answer is A. Okay, Mataji. Next one.
Who among the following is eligible for bhakti of Supreme Lord? More than one answer can be correct.
So this is a multiple choice question.
Okay.
Those who are
Those,
yes, Mataji, please read.
those who are desireless, those who are full of desires, those who desire impersonal liberation, demigod worshippers. I think all of it.
All
Okay.
ABCD are correct.
All are correct.
All are correct? Pakki baat?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. I think you are right. So which is this verse? Those who are desireless, those who are full of desires, those who are desire of impersonal liberation. Very famous verse. Akam sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradhi. Akam sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradhi. Tivrena bhakti yogena. Tivrena bhakti yogena. What was the next line? Yajet purusham param. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajet purusham param. So akam with no desires. So who are those people who have no desires? They are devotees. Sarva kamova. Sarva kam means full of desires, like materialists. Moksha kam, desires for liberation, the yogis. Udaradhi. Tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. So demigod worshippers is also in the category. Maybe in the Bhagavatam also it is mentioned. So the correct answer is all of them. Okay, next one, Madhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. If two devotees like Sukadeva Goswami and Parikshit meet, what is most likely expected of them? How to do yajna to please demigods? No. Details of Virat Roop of the Lord? No. Intricacies of Ashtanga Yoga process? I think so. Discuss sweet nectarine pastimes of Ladhari. Yes.
D.
So D, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So two devotees are going to meet, and that too of the caliber of Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. They are not going to discuss about BJP and Congress, isn't it? It is very clear they are going to discuss about sweet nectarian pastimes of Lord Hari. Okay, so because this is something to do with the topics that were discussed. So when Shukdev Goswami stopped speaking, then the sages in the assembly of Naimisharanya, they asked Sut Goswami, सर ये तो हो नहीं सकता कि दो बड़े बड़े भक्त जो थे वो मिले और बस इतना ही क्वेश्चन आंसर्ड हुआ कि जी मृत्यु के समय क्या करना है? बोले स्मरण श्रोतव्य कीर्तितव्यश्च स्मर्तव्यश्च चिताभयम्. So what more they have discussed? So that is why this question I made. So the correct answer is D. Okay, next one, Mataji.
Any activity other than dash steals away one's lifespan with the rising and setting of the sun. Harikatha. Duty towards one's country. No. Duty towards one's family. No. Duty towards one occupation. Certainly. Harikatha.
Harikatha.
Harikatha. Okay. So correct answer is A. Harikatha. So this verse is Ayur Harati Vaipumsam Udyan Astam Cha Yannasau Tasyarte Yakshano Nita Uttama Shloka Vartaya. So for all others who are not interested in doing Harikatha, it is something like the life is deteriorating away with the setting and the rising of the sun. Tasyarte Yakshano Nita Uttam Shloka Vartaya. Except for those who are always engaging themselves in Harikatha. So why I am telling these verses? Because we are going to remember these verses in our future classes. Okay. This is interesting. So match the following.
With the propensity.
You have to
Dog.
shoot arrows.
Hog. Camel. Ass. Dog.
So for
Third one,
dog,
modern educated persons moving door to door for some service.
So how do you explain that, Prabhu? What is a modern educated person compared to a dog?
So they have a lot of material desires. They want more money and everything. So they do all hard work. They are also faithful, loyal, but they want different bosses so they can serve them better every time. So they are always looking for moving from one place to another.
You see, dog is very faithful.
Yeah.
Whoever gives him some bread, he starts to wag his tail in front of them.
Correct.
Have you seen that environment in the office? Have you
Yeah.
seen
Very much.
how do people behave towards their bosses? When the boss comes in the when the boss comes in the office, you will see that there's an invisible tail at the behind of people, which you see is wagging, although it is not visible, but you can easily recognize that it is wagging, isn't it?
It is
Why?
buttering and wagging.
Wagging and fluttering, right?
Buttering.
Why? Sir, promotion, sir. Sir, promotion. Sir, promotion. Little promotion, sir. Isn't it? So that is why they are compared to dog. डॉग को भी डबल रोटी डाल दो तो जो डबल रोटी डालता है उसके पीछे वो पूंछ हिलाने लगता है. Then okay, so this is the state of modern educated people. They will study and they will find some job so that they can wag their tail throughout their lives. Okay. Hog.
No discrimination in matter of food stuff.
Yeah.
So hog means pig, and pig doesn't eat very nice food. All kind of dirty things he eat. So similarly, modern people, they like to eat what? All different kinds of meat. Mansahar. Yes. And there are different grades of mansaharis. Some are even now trying to eat serpents, lizards. Wow.
Yeah.
So they are compared to hogs. And camel.
Camel. Fond of enjoying thorny materialistic life.
Thorny materialistic life. So why camel?
Because
camel is compared to a hard-working materialistic person. Hard-working materialistic person trying to enjoy the fruits of his labor.
Yes.
So the camel is very fond of eating thorns. Camel is fond of eating thorns because when he eats thorns, his tongue gets cut and the blood comes out, and he enjoys the taste of his blood. Similarly, a materialistic person, he will work like a donkey throughout the morning and so on, and which means and he will get some money and then he will try to enjoy that money, thinking himself to be a great personality, like that. So he's camel. Ass. Now only one option is remaining, so that is
ass works hard, but
kicked by the fair sex. This is something like a what is that? Joru ka gulam. Joru ka gulam. But there is a word in English. I forgot that word. Prabhupada used that word explaining this. Henpecked. Correct. Jamala Mataji is very quick to remember that. Henpecked. So henpecked means Joru ka gulam. So these people are simply following the dictates of their maybe wives, and maybe in the night when they desire for materialistic pleasure, the wife kicks them. So like that. So that is how the various animals have been described. Okay, next one.
Fill in the blanks. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, a person may be a great leader, but if he does not have taste in the signs of spirituality, then he is nothing more than an animal.
Okay, we have options. Universe as. Krishna animal.
Krishna an animal.
Life elephant.
Life an elephant. Machines engineer.
B. Krishna animal.
Okay. So if it does not have taste in the signs of Krishna, then he is nothing more than an animal. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, a person may be a great leader. But if he does not have taste in the signs of Krishna, then he is nothing more than an animal.
Animal.
So now you know how to see the various politicians around you. Isn't it? Okay.
Yes.
Somebody is a camel, somebody is a donkey, somebody is a dog, somebody is.
Maybe
I mean,
all
that is
in
Srimad
one.
Bhagavatam's verdict. Yeah, maybe a combination of these. Okay, correct answer is B. So Bhagavatam is very heavy here, teaching like a guru. Okay, one who has developed dash. Yes, Mataji, please go ahead.
Yeah. One who has developed dash for Krishna, for Lord Krishna, can easily detach oneself from dash of life. Attachment, bodily conception. Detachment, material conception. Love, devotional way. Knowledge by purpose. A.
Yes,
One who has developed attachment can easily detach oneself from bodily conception of life, isn't it? So once we are, this is our process of bhakti. We are not suppressing our emotions. We are using our emotions to attach ourselves to Lord Krishna. And once we do it, we forget all our bodily conception, or our lower taste we forget.
The kapde ghal na bhai. Our?
Yes. 10th. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. Two important experiences of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from a sincere devotee are dash and dash. Disappearance of ignorance, get positive enlightenment. Fulfillment of desire, feel happiness. Lord is pleased, Guru is pleased. Other views us as noble person, others start trusting us. Okay, I feel A and C. I do not know whether there's a multiple choice.
Yeah, actually, it is A. It is A because it is according to the purport. So we need to be a little bit cautious in answering. So the answer is A. Disappearance of ignorance, get positive enlightenment. So Prabhupada used this point and he gives an analogy. Does anyone remember that analogy? When we read Srimad Bhagavatam, it has been compared to an analogy. So, for example, when we are very hungry, when we are very hungry, we eat food. So our hunger goes away. As our hunger goes away, we start to feel satisfied. So both the process happens simultaneously, isn't it?
Tushti bhukti shuddha nivritti.
So disappearance of ignorance, and as the ignorance is disappeared, we get positive enlightenment. Both happens together. So the correct answer is A. Okay. 11th. Manishji, please.
Yes. Before understanding the dash, dash, dash of the Lord, one must understand about his dash. So the options are sweetness, greatness, greatness, sweetness, power activities, and nature pastimes.
Before understanding the
sweetness of the Lord, one must understand about his greatness. That is
about his greatness. Option A. So in what context do you think this question has been given?
Reading the cantos of Bhagavatam serial wise.
Very nice, very nice. So in our context, why it is important? What was the context when we discussed this? You are correct. Broadly, you are correct, but a little more specific. What is the question asked in 4th chapter? Main question.
How does the Lord create the universe?
How does the Lord create? How does the Lord create? So the question could have been, maybe what Prabhupada is writing there is that Parikshit Maharaj is not asking the question about the pastimes, Ras Leela pastimes of the Lord. He is first of all asking the question, how does the creation happens? So similarly, we need not jump to the very confidential pastimes of the Lord, we need to go step by step. We need to study Bhagavatam gradually, canto by canto, chapter by chapter, like that. Why? Because if we start telling people about the sweetness part of the Lord, like the Lord is doing makhan chori and doing lifting over the hill, so they will not accept. They will think that this is simply some fiction, some whimsical topics, and so on. But once we study gradually, we understand that the Lord is so powerful, that He is a special personality. And because He's a special personality, He can do all these things. So by the time you understand that the Lord can create millions of universes, and then you study, go to the 10th canto and study that Lord actually lifted over the hill like simply lifting like an umbrella, you will believe it. There is no lot of effort needed to accept that fact, isn't it? Do you agree, Manish ji?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Prabhu.
So that is why, before understanding the sweetness of the Lord, one must understand about His greatness. Greatness, like that. Okay. So correct answer is B. Okay. Prabhu.
Yeah, Narad Muni's conviction about Lord Brahma is such that he believes that Lord Brahma know everything, just like a dash in your grip.
Ah,
So option is
yeah.
apple,
Ah,
walnut,
ah,
then mustard seed,
ah.
and blueberry. I think
Blueberry.
our answer should be gooseberry, I believe. Amal ki fruit, correct?
Yeah. Amalaki was there, but Prabhupada is writing walnut here. So I restricted myself to the explanation that Prabhupada ji has given. Amalaki should be gooseberry. That is why I have not given gooseberry option.
Okay, we confused. I think we thought blue, it should
Yeah.
be
In the class, I discussed mainly
Amal ki.
walnut,
Yeah.
but actually it is amla. So the correct answer for the sake of this study is walnut. In Hindi, in Hindi Srimad Bhagavatam, it is not given as walnut; it is given as amla in the translation.
Okay.
In the translation. So what is this? What does this analogy means? Can somebody explain? Kar amalaka vad. Kar
refers to
amalaka
the.
vad. Sorry.
So you were asking me the analogy.
Yeah. Please tell me.
Like Amalki is a very, I mean, as simple
No. See, the answer is
simplicity, like
the Sanskrit is kar amalaka vad. Vad means like an amla on the palm.
yeah,
Like an amla on the palm. Now, amla, if you have amla on the palm, you can actually look at the amla from all the aspects. ऊपर
yeah,
से, नीचे से, साइड से, पीछे से, आगे से, ऊपर, नीचे से, हर जगह से you can look at the amla fruit. You will know whether the amla is ripened, not ripened, green color, light green color, yellowish color, whatever. So, अगर कोई आपके हथेली पर कोई चीज है तो आप उसको बहुत क्लोजली उसको आप एनालाइज कर सकते हैं. So Narad Muni was saying that Narad Muni, Brahma ji, you are actually, you know everything like the kar amalaka vad, like an amla on your palm. आपको तो सब ऐसे ही मालूम है. आप तो चुटकी बजा के सब बता सकते हैं. बोलते हैं ना हम कई बार आपके बाएं हाथ का खेल है. So that is
Correct.
something the Sanskrit way of selling बाएं हाथ का खेल. कर आमला का vad.
But then any fruit would have been also
That is correct.
here.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. But we are restricting mainly the purport and the translation that Prabhupada ji has given. Maybe let me look at the.
Because your slide pack also talks about just like a amal ki fruit.
I know, because I used Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's translation. 253. 253 is Vishwanath Chakravarti writes, thus you understand this universe with detailed knowledge like an amalaki in your hand. Prabhupada ji says walnut. Why?
Prabhuji,
Because
walnut is actually really good for the memory.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
Now
wanted
let
to
me.
say that only.
That's why.
Connotes to the brain, connotes to the intelligence.
No. Let me tell you why Prabhupada ji is using walnut. Because Prabhupada ji was translating it in English, and he was mainly targeting the Western audience, his Western disciples.
Oh,
So he
okay.
used walnut because they would understand it better. Amla probably they
Yeah.
might not understand.
Yeah, true.
Or gooseberry probably they might have done. But that is my what do you say, Anuman Pramana. That is the Anuman Pramana I'm using. Okay, 13th. Manish ji?
Yeah, Narad Muni mentions that Lord Brahma is self-sufficient and compares him into a dash. A spider, a deer,
Spider.
lotus,
Hmm.
and swan. I think the answer is spider.
Spider. So spider, he creates a web almost all independently. All independently he creates the web, and he is able to maneuver. So spider actually represents independence. Like we read in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Swarat is fully independent. So spider using his saliva, he doesn't need any external help. So he creates this saliva, creates the web. And not only he can create the web, he can actually maneuver, walk and move inside the web. Nobody else can walk inside the web like the spider. And he can actually also destroy the web at will and create webs at some other place. So spider, that is how is being represented by independence. But we forget that the saliva of the spider actually not created by spider. It is coming from somewhere else. So that is why you can say that actually spider is also not fully independent.
Yeah.
Okay, correct answer is spider. Correct. Okay. 14th.
Yeah. Narada doubts Lord Brahma's supremacy by mentioning him which of the following? Lord Brahma does great austerities in perfect discipline. Lord Brahma is not able to create some part of the universe. Lord Brahma took help from other demigods for creation of universes. And Lord Brahma did some mistake while creating universes and had to redo it.
Yeah.
So
A.
Narad Muni is asking this question to Brahma ji and expressing his doubt. He's saying that, okay, I understand you are the creator, but one doubt I have, one day I saw you meditating on someone else. So how did the doubt came to Narad Muni's mind? Because of Brahmaji's meditating on someone, isn't it? So you're right. Correct answer is A. Lord Brahma was doing some great austerities in perfect discipline. So we in ISKCON use similar argument to also explain to people why Lord Shiva is not the supreme. Have you heard that argument? Have you
About the
seen Lord
milk and the
Shiva's?
curd?
Have you
Milk
seen?
and the curd. Yeah.
No. Have you seen Lord Shiva's deity sitting in a meditative pose?
Yes.
So
Yes.
isn't it? So people, we say, how do you see Lord Krishna's deity? We say he's playing flute, having his girlfriend next to him. And then how do we see Lord Shiva? Meditating on someone.
Meditating on Ram.
On whom? Maybe somebody supreme.
On Lord Ram. Yes.
On Lord Ram. So ultimately kind of explaining to people who are not so intelligent to understand very tough arguments, simple way. Lord Krishna is the supreme Lord because he's enjoying. He's playing music, enjoying with his friend. And Lord Shiva is actually meditating on someone. So that is the argument we give for explaining that also. Okay, 15th.
Lord Brahma's reaction on hearing Narad Muni's doubts was of dash. Gratitude, jealousy, awe and reverence, and embarrassment.
C. Awe and reverence.
Awe and reverence. Yeah.
No, not awe and reverence. Actually, what was the immediate reaction? It was gratitude. Oh, you asked me such a question about my Lord. I'm really happy. I'm
Why
very
is
grateful
gratitude?
to you.
Okay. Actually, where is the gratitude for Brahma and this thing, Actually, he asked some embarrassing questions. Narad Muni asked some embarrassing questions only, but where is the question of gratitude coming? At least awe and reference is there. Both of them are devotees. This okay, but there is a question of gratitude.
That is what we infer from the reaction of Narad Muni. So he's saying that तुम सबों पर करुणा करके ही ये सारे प्रश्न पूछे हैं. You are very merciful. You are very merciful. So he is kind of feeling a kind of a gratitude towards Narad Muni that he has asked this question. हे मेरे वत्स नारद, तुमने सबों पर मुझ सहित, including me, करुणा करके ही ये सारे प्रश्न पूछे. You have been very merciful that you have asked this question.
And you can also
So there
use
is no
awe and reference, you know.
No, awe and reverence. Awe and reverence means awe means greatness, greatness of the Lord. But he is actually feeling that Narad Muni is very merciful. When you feel that somebody is very merciful, it is actually a feeling of gratitude, not awe and reverence. Samyak karuni kasyedam. So he is feeling gratitude towards Narad Muni. Gratitude or awe and reverence, how can he feel awe and reverence towards his son? Awe and reverence will come from someone who is really, really very great and so on. And as a father, I mean, I don't think Brahmaji had that emotion of greatness towards his...
I'm thinking like immediately Lord Brahma was filled with awe and reverence for the Lord. Obviously, it will not come for Narada.
He's feeling the first impression is feeling towards Narad Muni. You have been very merciful to everyone, including me. That is why you are asking this question.
We can say he's thankful to Narada for asking.
That is gratitude, right? That is gratitude.
That is gratitude.
That is the answer, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, chalo, आगे चलते हैं. So, correct answer is A. And 16th, Supreme Lord. Okay, Prabhu, go ahead.
Yeah, Supreme Lord dash, whereas Lord Brahma dash. The destroys, creates, recreates, maintains, destroys, and creates, maintains. The answer is B. B, creates and recreates.
Supreme Lord creates, rochiyam, rochiyamyaham. Rochiyami, rochitam, rochiyamyaham. Right? Rochitam, rochiyamyaham. Correct answer is B. Creates and recreates. Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Identify the 5 elements of the universe. Dravya, Kala, Karma, Swabhava, Jiva. Paramatma, Dravya, Karma, Jiva, Kala. Paramatma, Devata, Karma, Jiva, Kala. Kala. Paramatma, Devata, Jnana, Jiva, Kala.
A.
Dravya, Kala, Karma, Swabhava, Jiva.
Kala, Karma, Swabhav and Jiva. So, Swabhav and Karma is related to Jiva. Kala actually a manifestation of the Lord. Dravya also actually related to Jiva. So Jiva is the living entity. Swabhava, Karma and Dravya mainly related to Prakriti. And Kala is representation of the Lord, time. Okay. So correct answer is A. Okay, 18th.
Choose the correct sentences. More than one option may be correct. Yeah. Karna Srishti means providing the ingredients for creation of universes.
Okay, we'll go one by one. Multiple choice.
Correct.
Multiple options are correct. So is it correct?
So yes, this is correct.
Karna Srishti means ingredients.
Karna system. Providing the ingredients.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Karya Srishti means to assemble the ingredients for creation of universes.
That's
I
also
think
correct.
this is also correct.
This is also correct?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Okay. See?
Third also is correct. That is also correct.
Correct. Material nature in equilibrium is known as pradhana, whereas in agitated state it is known as mahatattva.
Yes.
So
Correct.
how does it get agitated?
By the glands of the Lord.
By the glance of the Lord. Huh? So what does he do to what happens when he glances? What does he impregnates with?
With the jivas.
Jivas. And Before Jivas, Kala.
Kala.
Time factor. First of all, Kala and then Jivas. So Jivas means karma and subhava, together with their karma and subhava, right?
Yeah.
And it becomes agitated. Okay. Next.
Mahatattva predominated by tamas.
This is also correct.
That is
This is
also
also correct.
Amkara.
ABCD.
All are correct.
All are correct. Okay. A, B, C. Okay. Next one. Yes, Prabhu. Choose the correct sentence. Read
One option may be correct. Amkara is Sattva transforms into Jnana Shakti. Amkara in Rajas transformed in Kriya Shakti. Amkara in Tamas transforms into Dravya Shakti.
Correct.
Correct.
This is correct.
Yes.
Pakka.
Yes.
Pakka.
Yes.
देखते हैं चलो सोचते हैं B. Okay.
Dravya Shakti produces 5 sense objects and 5 gross elements.
Okay, correct.
Yes. Yes.
Correct. What are the 5 sense objects?
5 sense of the
Sound,
sparsh.
touch,
No,
form, taste,
sound,
form.
yeah. Shabda, sparsh, gandha.
Okay. 5 gross elements.
Air, water, ether,
Prithvi,
fire.
Akash, Jal, Vayu.
So which one comes the first?
Sound.
Ether.
Sound comes first, correct. The sense object comes first, sound, yes. And then?
Then
Ether.
the air.
Ether.
Ether, sound.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then comes what?
Touch.
Air.
Touch. Touch. And from touch comes what? Touch.
Touch. Air.
Form.
Air.
Form.
Air. Air.
Yes.
मैं भी खोल लेता हूँ कॉपी नहीं तो कहीं गलती हो गई तो
I think not the touch.
Yeah. Sound, ether, touch, air, form, fire, taste, water,
Okay.
smell.
Okay.
Sound,
Yeah,
ether,
yeah,
touch, air. Okay, I am correct. मैंने पुस्तक खोल लिया अभी. Air के बाद
Form and
air के
fire.
बाद
form.
Agni.
Form.
Agni.
Fire.
Form.
Jala. Jala.
Form के बाद fire.
Water.
Fire के बाद taste.
Taste.
From
And
taste
then
comes water.
smell.
From water comes smell. And from smell
And
comes
then
Yeah. Prithvi.
okay. Now, okay. Kriya
Yeah.
Shakti.
Kriya Shakti produces
This
10
is correct.
senses, intelligence and prana.
Yes.
Correct.
Correct.
Correct. What are the 10
Yes.
senses?
The 5
knowledge.
karmendriyas and the 5 jnanendriyas.
Karmendriyas and Jnanendriyas. So, what are the Jnanendriyas?
Eyes, ears, nose,
Eyes,
taste,
ears, nose,
tongue.
touch.
Tongue.
Okay. And Karmendriyas? 5.
Heart, pair,
Haath, pair.
or upastha.
Vani,
One.
Upastha, and then the anus. Okay. D. Jnana Shakti.
Produces 10 sense devatas and mind.
I think
Yes.
this is, I don't know.
This is
That's
correct.
okay. Correct. That's also correct.
Mind, yes, but I do not remember the devatas.
So, Devatas, yes.
Jnana,
Jnana Shakti
the mind
produces 10
comes from
Devatas.
Jnana Shakti.
And mind. Yeah, correct. Okay.
What are 10
Now,
sense devatas? The sun, moon, stars, those
They
they
are
fall in that?
Dig Devta, Surya, Vayu, Ashwani Kumar,
Okay.
Varuna.
Okay.
Indra, Upendra, Agni, Mitra.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So all are correct, right?
Yes.
Okay. So coming to the last one, Prabhu, read the options. A.
Choose the correct sentence. More than one option may be correct. The ingredients for creation together by help of Lord's compacting energy.
Correct. Correct.
Correct?
Compacting.
Correct. Prabhuji. Yes.
Compacting energy.
What does that mean? Compacting energy.
Compacting energy means now the elements have been created. Alone, these elements are not able to join together. So the Lord needs to actually make them assemble together.
Are you trying to say that energy is getting grossified?
Sorry, no. The idea is tada samhatya chanyonyam bhagavad shakti choditaha Sad Sattvam Upadaya. Sat Sattvam Upadaya Chobhayam Susraja Bhrata. So Bhagavad Shakti Chodita. Bhagavad Shakti means this is compacting energy. भगवान की शक्ति, अब वो शक्ति का नाम क्या है? वी आर कॉलिंग इट कॉम्पैक्टिंग एनर्जी. ओके, सो अभी इंग्रेडिएंट्स अलग अलग आ गए हैं उनका, मतलब फॉर प्रिपेयरिंग सांबर वी हैव भिंडी, वी हैव आलू, वी हैव गाजर, दाल, वाटर, मसाला.
Okay, kind of mixing. All right, now I get it. Yes. As then making.
Now these all these universes are floating in the Karana ocean.
Yes,
correct.
So, and then they are not doing anything. Now the Lord enters into these, and then because of his compacting energy, they actually they come together.
Yes.
Okay.
After the ingredients combine to form the universes, they continue to float in casual ocean of thousands of years or thousands of years.
Already gave it the answer. So it's like in the Karana ocean they are floating. Okay.
Lord enters in each of the non-living universes as Garbhodaksha Vishnu and enlivens this.
That's also true. True, correct.
It's true, right? So this Vishvatman. Okay. D.
Lord then resides in the universes with thousands of legs, arms, mouth, heads, etc. This is also correct.
This is Virat Roop. Now he exhibits his Virat Roop. वो विराट रूप का कॉन्सेप्ट अभी आ गया है. Okay. So I hope this gives you a very good revision. Correct answer is A, B, C, D.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Very good.
So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your patience, doing the questions, reading them, participating in them.
Prabhuji, ये तो मतलब we should be answered with gratitude. बहुत बढ़िया. Thank you.
Okay, चलिए. तो बहुत दिनों बाद हमने भागवतम पर चर्चा करी. After a long time because of my inability to present because of my ill health. But I hope we will continue with our next class next Sunday, 19th of October. Okay. And then maybe after that, probably I will have to take a break because I will be going for Kartik Yatra. And then after Kartik Yatra for Deepavali, I will be going to my hometown. So maybe Kartik Yatra break, we will not be able to present a class, but while I'm at my home, there is an opportunity, but I'm not very sure because I will be there for a very short period. I may not get time to prepare and present. So maybe 2 weeks, those maybe a break, but next Sunday we are going to have a class. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Dandavad.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shivan Prabhuji, Nana
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavad.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Prabhu.
Dr. Vidya, one of our devotees, she's sick. And now
Yeah.
she's out of hospital, but still she's feeling weak. I
Yeah,
request
I know.
all the devotees to pray for her.
Sure, sure,
Was-
sure.
हाँ जी.
Yeah.
आप तो गुरुजी हैं, आपको तो
नहीं, मुझे
हमेशा वो-
जानकारी है, मुझे उनका
हाँ।
स्वास्थ्य का जानकारी है जी.
जी जी ठीक है, मैंने कहा जानकारी है तो अच्छा, क्योंकि मैं टोरंटो में हूँ तो उनके साथ
जी
थोड़ा बहुत तो है, तो मैंने
जी।
कहा आपको अभी वैसे
जरूर।
घर आ गए हैं पर
जी जी जी
जी हाँ जी
जी.
दंडवत जी.
अच्छा प्रभु, धन्यवाद. थैंक यू.
All praise to Guruji, all praise to Srila Prabhupada,
जी.
all praise to all devotees.
All glory to Krishna. Okay,
Hare
thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare